Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for some midweek crafting. Tonight I've got a fun, simple, easy card for you that you should be able to make with what you've got in your craft room. I'm getting started with some pink card. This is from Tonic Studios. It's not overly thick, but it does work really nice as a card base. And I've also got two panels here that are 2.5 inches wide, purely because I am using them on this little punch. Now, I'll do my best to link everything I can down below, but if products aren't available, I apologize. This is my metallic thread bin. I bought a set, I think it's of 12 or 15 of these little rolls. They've lasted me at least 2-3 years, and they're all metallic threads, and they came from AliExpress, and I'll put that link down below for you. They always have those online. They're just a fun little set to have for accenting. So if you haven't got metallic thread, you could go ahead and use any thread that you've got, just normal sewing thread, any twine, anything you can wrap around a piece of card basically. So I've cut myself a little bunting panel, and I've taken my second bit of cardstock and lined it up over the top and allowed for enough room that I can stamp a sentiment just below that little panel. So I've cut my panel down to fit on top of that bunting, but I want to be able to have enough space for my sentiment to be stamped. Now I'm taking some double-sided tape, any double-sided tape will do, and I'm just going to adhere it to the back, and that's so that I can attach my string and it will stick while I'm wrapping it around. So a really, really simple technique to do is just wrapping your card. Now you do want to be careful that you're not wrapping too tight. You're not pulling that thread too taut when you're doing it, because it does start to make your card curl a little bit. And I do get a little bit of curling on my card, but I flatten it out nicely when I tape it down to that panel. So all I'm doing is going ahead and wrapping my colors. I've kind of tried to arrange them in this sort of rainbow order. I do use red line tape to kind of hold that thread down. Otherwise I get this big mess, which you could see in that box at the beginning. I haven't found anything else that holds that thread back on the reel so it doesn't make a big mess. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm just taking off my red line tape and then putting it back on after. Now I'm overlapping my colors slightly, so it's kind of like that rainbowy kind of flow. I didn't want to have gaps or spaces between the colors. I didn't want the colors to be too bluntly colored. I don't think that makes sense. I'm just overlapping those colors slightly so that the pure color is showing through in the middle of each of that color section. Super quick and easy to do. It gives you such a nice effect on your card. You've got the color without having to use any actual coloring, if that makes sense. And again, just look through your sewing box or have a look at what you've got in your stitching, needlework box, whatever you've got. Any kind of thread will work nicely. You can make your panel as big or as small as you like. It'll be perfect. Now I'm going to do a get well soon card, so I decided to pick a stamp that would fit nicely on that bunting, so it kind of, or the banner, whatever you want to call it, so it fits inside there really nicely. And I've used a grey ink because I thought black would be a bit too harsh and a bit too stark. Now I'm taking my same double-sided tape and I'm going to apply it to the back of my little panel, trim off the excess because I always get it wonky. It's always not straight, or it's never straight, I should say. My English is not so good either, is it? And I'm going to go and make sure that that is really pressed down. Because I've got that thread, it can kind of make your double-sided tape stick up off of the panel a little bit, so I wanted to make sure I pushed it down really firmly, and I'm giving it a firm rub from behind as well once I've adhered it to my card. Now since it's just card on card, I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, and I put quite a lot on just so that I could make sure that card doesn't start to curl, because my string was a bit tight and so it was wanting to warp a little bit. So I'm going to put some weight on top of that while it dries. Now this I don't think is available anymore. I got this big pack of felt from B&M in the UK a couple of years ago, and it's going to be perfect for making flower accents. I don't want to work for ages on making these beautiful glorious dimensional flowers, so I just die cut out some out of felt in some coordinating colors. And I've also got a big bin of buttons, and so I grabbed one of those. The opposite side has got a pattern on it, so I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side. Now to make this panel kind of flow a bit more with my card or pop off a bit more, I'm adding some silver glitter gel pen to the outside edge of it and just doing some fake stitching. And when you look up close it's really awful because I can't draw straight lines, but that's alright. I'm using Glossy accents because I didn't feel like getting my glue gun out, and I know that this is quite sticky, and when it dries it's quite hard and it's nice and clear. However, I do just get my glue gun out anyways. I should just learn to not even bother trying something else because it did take a while to dry. So here's my big box of twine and string things, and I wanted to put something through that button. This is quite thick though, so I decided I would just pull it apart. I think I've got 3 or 4 strands in the end that I have left, and I think there were about 8 strands or so in this twine. So I now have my sort of 3 or 4 bits of twine there, and I'm just going to funnel it through my buttons, my buttonholes I should say, and then I just go ahead and tie it off with a nice knot and a bow on the front, and then that grey kind of goes with my grey ink that I've used as well for that sentiment. So a really quick, nice way to finish off a card, just adding a quick little embellishment. It's so hot here. We are due to get close to 40 degrees on Monday. It is unbelievable. It has been roasty toasty. So today it's only a high of 27. So I am managing to get creative. I have not managed to get in my office at all this week. I've just got in the pool. That is all I have managed. It is too warm. So I am hoping to have my Saturday video filmed for you in a bit of advance, because by the time Saturday hits, we're going to be back in the mid-30s. So here's the finished card. I hope you enjoyed tonight, and I would love it if you shared this version with me if you have a go. You can share it on Instagram or on my Facebook group. Both those links are down in the description box, as well as hopefully all the supplies. So look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Have a fantastic week if you're in the UK. I hope you're keeping cool. Take care. Bye.